Welcome back to the Dethroning Your Inner Critic YouTube channel, the show that's here to remind you who you really are beneath the voice in your head that tells you you're not enough, or you're not ready, or you're not doing it right. So I'm Joanna Kleinman, psychotherapist, transformational coach, CEO of the Dethroning Your Inner Critic coaching company, and creator of the Mind Method. And today, I'm sharing something really special with you. So these are the 6 truths that collapse time and awaken your light. And these truths have changed my life and they've transformed the lives of the thousands of others who I've walked this path with because they dismantled the belief that you have to push and strive and wait and control your way to peace and success and fulfillment. So let's begin with truth number 1. Life is not meant to be controlled. It's meant to be trusted. So here's why the future still terrifies you. Okay, let's get real. You've got a vision and you've got a timeline. So you've got plan A, you've got backup plan B, and maybe you even have a secret plan C just in case. And still, your chest is tight. You can't sleep. You keep wondering, what if this doesn't work? What if I fail? What if something terrible happens? Does that sound familiar? Yeah, me too. I used to live there constantly, trying to control everything because underneath it all was a deep fear that something bad would happen. But here's what I know now. Our inner critic lives in the what if. It imagines threats that don't exist. It rehearses worst case scenarios in our minds, and it never lets us rest. And that's because we believe that we're alone, that we've got to figure it all out ourselves, that our safety is in anticipating and preparing and controlling. But here's the truth. The more you try to control, the more fear you feel. And that's because control is really just the illusion of safety. It doesn't deliver peace, it delivers pressure. So even when things went well in my life, I still felt that pressure to keep the next thing from going wrong. So maybe you can relate to that. Here's the shift. Peace does not come from securing every step. It comes from remembering who walks with you. And that is your authentic self. So your authentic self lives in the here and now. And it already knows that you're supported, that you're guided, that you're part of something bigger. So you don't even need to visualize exactly what you want, right? I've done all of that. I've done all of it, the programs, hired the coaches, created the vision boards. But when I understood that all I had to do was be in this moment with certainty that everything is working out, that's when things began to shift. See, the future is just a fantasy. So the only certainty is the presence of love and divine support right now. So every time you hand your life over to spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call that energy, you create the space for miracles. You don't need to know what's going to happen. You don't need to know when it's going to happen. You just need to remember that you'll be guided. That is having trust, not forcing, not striving, but knowing deeply that it's all unfolding in divine order. So, what if letting go of your control isn't the end of your power? What if it's the beginning of your true power? So that leads us to truth number 2. What you're actually wanting isn't the thing you think you want. Okay? So hear me out on this one. Okay? You don't actually want the thing you want. You want the essence of it. You want how that thing is going to make you feel. The feeling of freedom, the feeling of adventure, the feeling of expansion. See, that's what your soul really wants. And our soul is really our true authentic self. It's our essential nature. So you're not just drawn to starting that new business or elevating your career or getting into that relationship. What you're really drawn to is the version of yourself that you believe will show up when you get it. But here's what's wild. That essence, that feeling, you're already downloading it right now. That inspiration you feel is the sign that you're becoming a match for the life that you want. So you're not just thinking about it, you're actually drawing it towards you through your consciousness. But here's where most people get stuck. They feel inspired, and then that fear takes over. They want a plan, they want a guarantee, they want a roadmap. But the real path is actually not going to make any sense. It's going to be bumpy, it's going to be non-linear, it's going to be full of detours. But one day, you'll arrive and you'll realize it all happened for you. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, all for you. So this isn't about forcing outcomes or mentally convincing yourself that it's going to happen, because mental concepts are really pointless. You have to let go. You have to relax into trust. You have to let life live through you. And that's where trust gets built, because before every big shift, there will be a test. Okay. It's going to show up looking like an old pattern or a familiar trigger, or maybe what seems like a comfortable compromise. But the choice is really yours. Are you going to react as you always have, or will you respond as the creator of your own reality? Because that moment, that choice, that's the shift that's already happening right now. Which leads us to truth number 3. You have a light inside you that is so worthy of shining. So, someone I'm mentoring in the Mind Method practitioner coaching said something to me recently that really hit me very deeply. And they said, Joanna, the moment a woman sees who she really is, that's when her whole life changes in that moment. And that's what your work does. And I knew that in my bones. That's exactly why I'm here, because I know what it feels like not to see yourself, to be constantly striving and pushing and proving. And yet underneath it all is this ache, not seeing your own greatness and not recognizing your own enoughness. I have been there. So many of us have let someone else dim our light, or even worse, we've forgotten that we even had one. Okay. But I am here to remind you, you don't need to chase the light, because you are the light. And when you ignite your own light, you illuminate the path for others. You give them permission to rise. So please stop measuring your progress through the eyes of your inner critic, because you are not behind, you're on the verge. Truth number 4, waiting is a trauma response. Now, I heard this on Instagram from, I think his name is Philip Andrew. He's fabulous. Okay. He said, waiting is a trauma response. So waiting feels safe. Waiting feels responsible. But waiting is actually resistance in disguise. You're waiting for clarity. You're waiting for proof. You're waiting to feel ready. No. Choose now. Decide now and be available now, because the moment you decide to step into the embodiment of that future self now, your life rearranges to meet you there. That's embodiment. And your nervous system is really the portal for everything you want your life to be. So regulate your capacity to receive, and that's when you will become magnetic to everything that you desire: love, wealth, peace. The universe doesn't need your hustle, it needs your availability. Truth number 5, the version of you who has it already exists. So she's not someone you need to hustle to become. She's already here. So you don't need to become her. You just need to tune into her. So your work is not to chase her. It's to meet her now in this moment through your energy, because the version of you who is already radiant and powerful and fulfilled, she's waiting for you to drop the procrastination, to drop the delay. So you don't need to do more. You just need to become more available for what you say you desire, because abundance does not flow to the person who's gripping and striving and hustling. It flows to the person who is available, because that person knows she already is the dream. She already is the miracle. Which leads us to truth number 6. All there is this moment. So I don't care how old you are not behind. You are not failing. You're actually in the collapse of time. So if you live as though this moment is all that exists, that's when the miracles come. That's when time literally collapses, because that's when you already are her. So all you have to do is tune into that energy. Okay. So instead of asking, how do I make this happen? You ask, what can I let go of right now? What can I allow to just be? And then choose the highest thought, choose the highest feeling, and trust that the life that you're imagining it because it's already catching up to you. That's why it's in your mind, because it already is. It's already coming towards you. So if this video stirred something in you, don't just listen, come back to it. Let it anchor you. Let it rewire you. Let it activate you, because you're not waiting for your life to begin. You're right on time. And that version of you who already has it all is smiling and saying, you're here. I've been waiting for you. I love you. I see you. I'll see you next time.